As you look at the floorboards in this corner of the shack, it's clear. Hollow space underneath the floorboards is dark and damp. You can barely make out them. Nothing particular catches your eye. Looks like something bad. Someone's night thoughts. You stick your hand in and start combing through the sand. Dry, not like outside. Fine dust. And a small cylindrical object. You pull it out. A book. The floorboard doesn't care. But maybe the washerwoman does. Holding the bullet, you get the feeling this isn't ammunition against you. It's for herself.
Our tenant, the policeman. I hope the waves don't keep you. Damn that girl.
A bullet? You didn't put it there, did you? She did.
Gone and hid things in there? She's usually a good tenant. Yes, I let my room to that Ruby girl. As I've done before when she's been in trouble or just looking for solitude. I've made it clear. She came last Friday, left on Monday in a hurry. What has she gotten herself into, that girl?
She seems genuinely worried about her previous tenant. She's seen her hiding out from trouble before. But this seems different.
That's for the police to find out. Right then. Please answer each question to the best of your ability. I'm sure we have a few.
Yes, early with the dogs, around 8 o'clock, I think. I cleaned it. No. She's good company. Knows how to talk to an old woman.
Did she talk to you much during her last stay?
No, she was mostly silent this time. Kept to herself. She tried not to let it show, but I could tell she hadn't come to fish. Usually she likes to... How would I know? She's a gruff one, but not violent.
You could ask her about your hunch, that it was a desperate measure. See if she...
Do tell. Exit from what?
The lieutenant stops writing for...
No, she's a fighter.
Not a quitter, like you sometimes get, son.
Not that I know of, though she was into nice music. She once showed, although I guess she was pretty handy with the mechanical...
She may simply have kept the equipment elsewhere.
I don't know. Further up the coast, she tried to leave quietly, but the hinges on that, you'll never find her, you know. She knows...
I wouldn't worry about that, man. We are persistent.
Are you sure you would rather stay here? Get a nice cozy fire going in the heater? Seems like a better idea to me.
The felled electric mural. You feel like you should go look at it again. Step closer this time.
One thing, officer. If you do find her...
She really means it.
She's a good girl.
You see a once bright mural towering above you. A slogan used to intertwine with the loops a long time ago. Now, only a shadow of people.
Looks like tomorrow never came.
Above the mural, a collapsed roof, broken windows set in walls, felled electrical. There's something in the wind. Sometimes the only way to go forward is to... Indeed, somehow you knew it was here. An urban ruin. You felt it before, when it rained in Martinez, and you felt the...
In there? She could. Or she could be in the identical ruin over there, or in that boat shack. In that church tower, maybe.
Even though you're sure you succeeded, all is quiet. There is no cold hand brushing against your forehead. No rustle in the... Trying to talk to the wind, the city, a prayer of sorts, to Revachol.
How do we? I was really hoping. She's probably north of the village, and this place is a peninsula. We already scanned most of the outdoor areas, and then there's the church. We've already searched that and can rule it out. Anyway, we do it the old-fashioned way, sector by sector. Go over the whole peninsula, ask the locals, enter the places where we can enter first, like we did in the village. Then, if we're desperate, we can look where we can't enter. Bunkers, storm drainage, this place. I'm sure it won't come to that.
Walk the coast, the old boardwalk, the reeds. An adventure awaits. Buckle up and raise your collar. This search is going to be wet and cold.
Hello again. No, I'm afraid I can't help you with this.
So you haven't seen anyone around?
No, I'm sorry. As I said, this is just a day.
There's something friendly and familiar in how he says that. A day off.
Sure, what's on your mind? But of course.
An old door, worn by elements, guards the depot. The wind has blown a sand dune in front of it. The door hasn't...
From here to the whirling? I can't see how. The church is in the way.
That's a deal! Yeah! Yeah! It was awesome! Too hardcore, in fact! I couldn't. It sucks up all the air in the mix until it's the only thing left. Stop.
Inside your chest, the heart beats still with the after effects of the sound. Imagine if you could harness that.
Yeah! Welcome. Oh! I don't know. Maybe someone can do something with this. I imagine this is the sounds of the future. Yeah!
Oh, hey man, it's good to see you. Goodbye, officer.
Welcome back.
Yo, man, what's on your mind? Yo, man, what's on your mind?
Aggressive.
Yo, man, what's on your mind?
Dedicated, hyperactive, unified. You will have to add something of your own to understand this list of loosely formed. Test your limits. Surpass them. This is for your posse. They got to keep it up. They got to move. You are the major mic enforcer. If you fear it, let it happen. Keep on dancing till the world ends.
Yes, what is it? The swallow, you mean? What about it? Freight. Thanks.
Oh, hey man, it's good to see you. Goodbye, officer.
The smell. It's awful and familiar. Don't be naive. Don't you recognize it? That hideous pungency. Something cold wakes in the pit of your stomach. Fear. The lieutenant has already... There's some tear, an empty cigarette package, and a crumpled 2 empty bottles of Tallulah vodka. And no, there's more in there. Livis strawberry liquor.
A tragedy.
He shakes his head with genuine sadness. Whoever tossed it here was a heavy smoker. You see traces of mayonnaise and ketchup on it, as well as a tomato wedge. It's hard to concentrate in the smell. The sea air brings some relief. A man lies on the boardwalk, his limbs bent and neck turned at an unnatural angle. Right next to him, is an empty. Half of his body has slipped between the cracked boardwalk, starting with the right leg. The fall has left him. The smell is not as bad as a 2-week-old corpse.
Hold on. Lividity is faintly pronounced. Whoever this is has been dead for 2 days.
Another dead body. Calm now. Carefully. Just another day. Just another. He's wearing mud-caked boots, beige trousers, and an old brown leather jacket. A cool leather jacket with a bolt of blue. You find some sunflower seeds and a rain-soaked library card folded into 2. His jacket feels
Good. We should take a look at that library card after this is done.
The man has fallen through a crack in the boardwalk and hit his head against the metal bench. You have to be quite inebriated to fall that bad. Well over a leaf. His expression is dull, like the sea behind him. Drops of. He was confused when he died. He was just about to head home. The first step back home proved there's some dried blood on the metal bench, right where the corpse's head rests. The floor. Be very, very careful where you step here. A dried chunk of blood covers. This is where he came out of himself.
I don't see any other major wounds, do you? Seems like the head wound was fatal. It's exactly the shape of the bed.
They screech under your feet ominously. It's hard to say whether the dead. You see waves churning below. Some a 0.75 liter Tallulah vodka. It's mid-market spirits with a slight touch of
Tear all around us. I'd prefer if you didn't collect them.
true. It feels disrespectful. Grabowski spearmint chewing gum. Green leaves on the cover. The blackness of death.
He ate the whole pack, right? It's too I've seen it before. Almost the same scenario. Even the chewing gum.
The entire boardwalk creaks in the wind as you take.
Looks like one of the locals. He'd have to know this spot to come here. But that's just a lazy assumption.
A dead working-class man with a bottle in his hand. Don't deceive you.
The woman you met at the book stand? Why do you think it's her husband? The bright blue lining? Well, he's definitely someone's husband. Death by misadventure. He slipped and fell through the boardwalk. A truly unfortunate accident. Oh yes. Some symptoms of acute alcohol poisoning could have death, but I think that death arrived through head trauma, not liver failure. They'll seal this place off after the news reaches the coalition officials. Not that sealing it off would keep anyone away. All it does is keep the city. No, I don't see anything that points in that direction.
Yes, but what if there's a killer on the loose? 2 suspicious deaths.
Without any further evidence, yes. What about it? The deceased ate some kebab. It's probably from a nearby place, maybe in the parks. It does seem to be a pretty straightforward misadventure. From where I stand, I can see 2 options. We either take the case and follow the leads to identify the body on our own. A field autopsy isn't necessary if the cause of death. I'd say we should just write down head trauma and leave it at that. Let's keep this detour as short as possible. Good call. The guys at processing can take care of the rest. Alright, we should first examine the library card you found. Then we can call the station from my kinema. Let...
Six crumbling petals rest on your palm.
This is the Insulindian lily, called Mabel's or Lucille's tears during the revolution. Girls used to pin these on the revolutionaries, so the communards and the anarchists. White's their color, but the custom started in the suzerains. It's about girls and boys more than sight. Girls sending off boys who are going to their deaths, then also dying themselves in the ruins from dysentery and consumption. It's a... Yes, but not this early, not to my knowledge. It looks dried, preserved. Maybe. Maybe not. We'll see.
The petals feel dry and water flows under the channel bridge. Dark water. You run inland Above the Martinez distributary, the channel, the wrinkled fingers of an old man crack. The library card is folded into two and still slightly wet to the touch. The front side reads, "Whoever owns this card is an avid reader." You find a list of books written in blue pencil. Most of these titles seem to be in the sci-fi. If lost, please return the card to the library. Dial 005.
Good. We should give them a call from my kinema. See if we can learn anything about Billy Méjean.
A row of ghostly shades facing a crumbling wall, with another 7 shades standing 10 meters from them.
I don't know. Perhaps the ones executed here. Another likely scenario.
Or maybe...
Yeah. It's very unlikely the coalition force. To be honest, if a coalition member...
a cold behind this...
Yes?
The dome-shaped plastic boy bobs up.
We still got here too late. There's nothing of use here anymore.
A few locusts trudge along the wall of the trap. The poor things. The scruffy-haired little boy.
What bad people?
I don't think questioning 4-year-olds without a...
Then we're definitely doing it. The scruffy-haired little boy kicks a...
Hello, mister. Luby. My mom tells me I'm a big girl, but she doesn't know that I can't say
Kids.
bye.
The sea's gonna calm down soon, I can feel it. The wind is... Oh? Who? Really? A lot of stuff. Intense. You're like some kind of dark terrier with your endless search. Oh? Okay. Oh. Yes, that's... Sorry I couldn't... Really? A lot of stuff. Oh. There's plenty missing. But that's too much for even an eager terrier like you to... You're back. Good. What can I help you with? More lessons in basic reality? My favorite part of the day. Go ahead, ask me anything. Glad to have been of assistance.
Uncle.
There's no way.
Tequila sunset. Of course. Drink first, story later. Not much, but it will do.
Hey, Spiral Boy, you gonna share that?
Shut up, guys. I'm telling a story here. Something happened. I was once a reasonably high net worth individual. A founder / junior partner at a high concept creative services. I used the profits from my agency to finance what I called a cult. I developed the paradigm, worked within the paradigm. 22 full-time employees. An all-star team, a potentially historical set of individuals. It did, with my trusty Sansa. But now dreams are worn thin. Much like one day I left on my evening run. As you may know, it's impossible to clear.
His eyes are clouded. His eyes are yours.
So I removed the key ring and put the keys for the front gate and the apartment into different pockets. I was halfway done with my usual lap when it started to rain. Wet, okay? It was raining real. I made my way back home and discovered that I didn't have the key to the front gate. Naturally, the situation required me to climb over the gate, which I did. There was no climbing down because I slipped and...
No, you don't.
Whatever. The point is, reality was looking rather grim just then. Me lying on my ass. So I made my way across the yard. Standing in front of my apartment door, fumbling with my pockets. I wish I were tequila. I wish I were. Instead of... I rang my neighbor's buzzers. It was late, and most of them didn't... People are naturally wary of ad men, you see. One moment someone chats you up, 5 minutes later you've bought a box of edible lingerie and a strap-on.
Heavy is the head.
Just then, I experienced a moment of clarity. I still had the key to my office. But when I reached my office, I remembered that I'd asked one of my producers to change the locks that day. And since I hired... Anyway, long story short, life spiraled out of control. So, now you've heard my tragic tale. What do you think? Like nothing you've ever heard, huh? Tequila, I've thought about this series of events for a...
Why didn't you go to the...
Well, at one point they came to me, but, you know, I didn't have any ID on me. So they tossed me in. I can't say it increased my faith in the RCM. No offense, gentlemen. The hobo lifestyle definitely has some perks. Not having to pay rent for... But that charm wears off pretty quickly. Before you know it, you're wearing a shit-stained tracksuit and spending your days picking tear. Can't really remember seeing anyone.
It's a touchy topic. He hasn't got laid in ages.
Good fucking question, Tequila. If I knew the answer, you think I'd be hanging out on a beach in this? I used to own my reality situation. My business buddies and I had our own Now I can't hang on to anything. Just last week, I stole this night.
You of all people should empathize with this. Perhaps this lost...
My agency, man. The Boom Boom Room. I convinced my partners to reinvest some of our profits in an even more high... I was financing a group of poets in East Revachol who were developing a new universal poetic language.
Sounds intriguing. What say you, Art Cop?
Well, you know, sex sells. That's the first rule of advertising. Maybe you're right. Who knows? Maybe we were behind the curve. What? You've never seen 100% Lycra before?
You really shouldn't touch it.
Pretty nice, huh? This might...
Good God. It's nearly impossible to describe how dirty this texture is. It's like randomized trials have also found Lycra, TM. And then there's the smell.
Wow, you're lucky.
That's because your paws are fucking filthy, Rosie. We're right next to the bay. My fellow members of the
Hey, Thicky!
Shut the fuck up, Rosie.
I thought he was a cool...
A gurgling sound comes from...
And yeah, you're already acquainted with abs. Tequila, it's a verifiable tragedy. Say, you're a detective, right? Maybe you can help old Doom Spiral out. Solve the Nah, this isn't it. Found? That's medium concept stuff. Totally not my style. It's a big world out there, Tequila.
Hey, Doom Spiral!
Not on your fucking life, Rosemary. What's wrong with you people? Tell you what, Tequila. Why don't you just hang on to that one?
At least you got a nice jacket for your troubles.
I do. But as you can see, my fuel tank is running quite low. If you catch my drift. Classy. The tale I'm about to tell you is an urban legend particular to Martinet. There are many variations on the basic story, and the details often
Are you telling the story?
Shut the fuck up! Summer of 44. 17-year-old Gertrude Het is walking home from a late shift at the harbor. It's almost midnight. She stops for a cigarette near the canal.
The streets are warmed by a southerly breeze. The lights of a passing motor carrier. In the harbor's dark, her cigarette is a beacon, dancing alone.
Our heroine finds herself enjoying the peace and quiet. What she doesn't know is that her peace is about to be shattered. From behind her comes the clattering of hooves. What? No, I told you this is a... With no head on his shoulders. Wearing a found tracksuit. Searching for the legendary found cap that went missing.
I thought that he rode a headless pig.
Well, there are many versions of this story. The most peculiar of which has the headless... Yes. According to legend, young Gertrude Het had to endure years of psychotherapy before she was able to look at a whole... Gertrude Het may have been the first to witness...
Tell him about the two feminists.
Fuck, Rosemary, they were dating. No one said they were feminists.
This...
What?
I've read the case file, but
Right. Early autumn of 46. Ulla de Ponte, the wind picks up. A sky already dark.
Two women stand on a small outcropping of rocks. One of them is wearing a purple raincoat.
The women are caught in the downpour. They act quickly. Eva gathers...
Don't turn around.
When she sees something. Her shriek is... But there is no lightning. Only a... Ulla makes a run for the shore, but Eva slips on a... Her body is never recovered.
naturally, Ulla de Ponte became the prime suspect in the disappearance of Eva Delgado. De Ponte maintained that it was the so-called head. During the investigation, it became apparent that there was a love triangle, the third party being some small-time businessman. I don't remember the exact details. No, she committed suicide before she could be taken into custody. Not a pretty scene.
Man, that's some grisly detail. Anyway, that's the story of the headless fowl. Well, Tequila, that's part of the... Some say he was an undercover cop who blew his cover and got beheaded by the vicious gang.
Oh, headless brother. Where?
Others claim he was a professional jockey who veered off course during a steeplechase.
Even decapitation couldn't stop his commitment.
Personally, I think he was just some guy who hanged himself. Coincidentally, at that exact moment, a horse happened to pass under him, and his beheaded corpse...
For some reason, this does strike you as the most plausible theory of them all.
Isn't it? Oh, anyway, to each his own. You want to hear any other stories?
Hard to argue with that.
That's the reality situation for you. You think you got a handle on it, then blam! Yeah? Why don't you go eat shit, Tequila? There's no way you know a better one than that. Acid Gnomes? Sounds like a stupid, low-concept band name. Yeah? I have to admit, that's pretty high concept. Still not as awesome as a head... Yeah? Giants? That the best you got? Yeah? Damn right it doesn't. No one knows. Some say he stalks Martinez to this day, and can be seen near the canal when the clock strikes midnight.
He won't, though, because it's just a stupid
Aye, I saw him one night when I was right shit-faced.
I actually do have one. Do you have anything to fortify old Doom Spiral? It's very hard to tell a story when one's mouth can't really remember seeing it.
It's a touchy topic. He hasn't got laid in ages.
What's it about? Maybe you've heard. I used to be a very successful businessman. I've signed more...
I got a freebie when I purchased a whole carton of cigarettes.
The writing under the Tiny Crown logo reads...
Thanks, Rosie. Hey, Abs! Hey, Abs!
The man mumbles.
Hey! Goddamn Abigail is here. Wake up! Wake up! I'll be damned. Well...
Sure, I can fucking help. You need a signature.
Not exactly an expert forgery. Don't call Abigail. Would have signed something more like, don't call Elia.
Hey, guys.
About fucking time, man.
The incapacitated drunk.
Thank you for your services, gentlemen. Should we go and mail these? I think I saw a mailbox.
Okay, what's on your mind?
Okay. I I've been meaning to have a little chat with you about your sense. It's, well, a little eclectic, don't you?
Eclectic is for pop music with indigenous percussion. You're a sartorial maverick.
Well, I can't say it doesn't fit you. Still, you might try branching out a little. You know the expression, the clothes make the man. The right outfit in the right situation. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
A warm.
Anyway, we should probably get...
The dented yellow mailbox greets you with its...
Other than kicking?
You drop the white envelope in the darkness. About a week's worth of mail as collected in the... Probably did the right thing. You can't trust that...
Alright, let's go back to Everard. If we don't mention anything to him, he won't know before it's too late.
Before the cargo container. Its drawer has not lessened since you were last here. If anything, it seems to have grown slightly.
Mr. Dubois, every worker... That's right, Mr. Dubois. I see the socialist democratic fervor now burns in your heart, too. The golden boy returns once more. Wonderful. Simply my friend, the mailman, confirms the letter is on its way. You've done a great thing today. You've given the children of Martinez a real future. You're in my inner circle. You too, Mr. Kitsuragi. We can talk about...
Judging from how happy he is, it looks like you did it. He doesn't appear to suspect trickery.
Harry, I've got to be honest with you. Your gun was found 2 days ago. Withholding... An old woman has it, and let me tell you, Harry, Word on the...
This must be the woman who bought the gun from Roy. The one he described as...
Yes, the same one. I see you've done your research. The pawn shop made the gun easy to track.
Union Boy's gonna help you fix it.
The neighbors of this old woman contacted my men because they trust me and the Debar...
Waving the gun around doesn't sound good. None of this...
As I said, she's a character. I didn't have time for detail.
It sounds like a very disturbed and...
Unfortunately, I don't know anymore. You're gonna have to go in...
There it is again.
I, for one, find it refreshing. Finally, someone calls them...
It actually sounds extremely bad.
I already have. Tonight, starting 10 o'clock, near the old fish market on the coast. The one on the boardwalk, a little past the fishing village. Be careful, Harry.
She will be there. For
more fun stuff. Seems like we already have fun stuff to do.
Order it. You know my men didn't kill him. They told you. It was a happy accident. You know how it is. No one takes the initiative. If I wanted him dead, I would have... Glad you asked. I've got type 2 diabetes, but good job too, as it made me ugly. And
That is true. People don't trust pretty people.
Why a war of...
And what do you...
Victory, Mr. Kitsuragi. I have victory to gain. We are going to start a war with the wild... Harry, we outnumber them 1,500 to 1. And that's just Martinez. With all the unions in Revachol, and with public opinion on our side, we can hold off. The more they send, the worse it's going to look for them. They made a huge mistake hiring those guys. No one likes foreign mercenaries. Harry, there is no strike, only war. Class war. Or, in business terms, a dawn raid. We're not going to give nothing. We're going to take Terminal B away from them. The roads, the gates,
The word fuck rings like a gunshot from his mouth.
So that's why you haven't let Joyce in?
Yes. It's also why I let that midget Gaumont go. He's too nice. I can't put him through this. Because we're friends, Harry. Besides, it doesn't matter now. It's already happening. Harry, by now you should know I would never do anything tricky like that. However, well, let's just say there'll be freshly renovated buildings near the roundabout where those poor people...
So the village is doomed.
You were there, you saw the place, a wasteland, there's nothing left. But mark my reset. I have big plans for Martinez, and they do not include humans living in... Harry, imagine a youth centre supermarket church complex, employing hundreds, no, thousands of people. The coast will be lit up with Harry, enough is enough. We're taking this district back. The war was 50 years ago, for God's sake. It's time to move on. Yes, I do. I got the centre, I got room for a retail complex, and in 4 years, I'll get the church too.
There is true indignation in his voice when he speaks. The pain is true. And then there will be a giant statue of him, towering above it all.
I'm not a symbolist, Harry. I'm a realist. My statue will be...
You would look nice as a statue.
Damn right I'm up to something, Harry. I'm gonna make the working man as rich as Joyce Messier.
A true flash of anger in him, as he thinks of her.
No idea. Could have been his own mother for all I know. If you ever find the...
The guy, huh?
I don't. I told you it could have been his own mother. I'm pretty sure it wasn't anyone from the Union. Maybe it was the mob. 2,372.
And they're all well motivated. At least the ones...
Oh, you mean what sort of goods are going to be flowing through? How am I going to replace all the contact? We've been running back channel negotiations with all the major clients. I think the company will be unpleasantly surprised to see how many of them stay loyal. With renewed zeal sparked by communal ownership, the men will be shipping those containers double time. You'll be surprised to see how...
That's drugs.
Drug trafficking.
Drug trafficking? Don't be stupid, Mr. Kitsuragi. All they do is produce components to keep the pharmaceutical industry running. That's people's health we're talking about. The company thinks transporting these chemicals in bulk looks bad, has bad optics, maybe illegal. We're gonna transport the living daylights out of those materials, Harry. So you're sick.
And the kids on the street can get speed and pyro.
I'm an old-fashioned guy, Mr. Kitsuragi. But if I were to supply ingredients for some sort of rainbow party, I would make sure the Union took a fantastic share. And I'd keep that stuff far away from Martinez. Harry, if I was supplying raw materials...
Understood.
You know why you're such a good detective, Harry? You don't get sidetracked. Anyway, let's not focus on the sensationalism of the drug trade. This hypothetical drug trade is all anyone ever seems to be interested in. It would only be... Let's look at the big picture. Martinez as a whole. There are little girls. I'm gonna unite them all into one economic body. We're gonna...
Let's keep focusing on the drug trade. He was almost admitting to it.
No, Harry. That's boring. All right, it's gone. Boys. Harry felt queasy about it. We're not doing it. Can we talk about my beautiful incorporated Martinez and its many-sided business ventures now? This bold new vision of incorporated socialism I'm offering? Harry, the length you're willing to go to keep your nose clean is remarkable. You will always have a warm bed in Mr. Clare's household, my friend, and a special place in the future of Martinez. We're way past specific Union members now. You can bother Leonard with that. He loves to run his mouth on such matters. But I'm in big-time mode, Harry. Great, Harry, great. I think we have truly built a bridge between Martinez and Jamrock today. We have united the RC... This has been so great. I'm sorry we don't have more fun things to do together, but if you ever feel like bouncing something off me, my door is always open.
What? Did I? Well done then, Harry. I like not knowing about it, and I don't even want to know what all of that means. Brew, shady, alcohol, turned off. I'm gonna let the world surprise me.